Question number 6. 49y square minus 16x square equals 784. So when I divide the whole equation by 784, I'm left with 49y square divided by 784 minus 16x square divided by 784 equals 1. 49 by 784 is 16. So y square divided by 16 minus x square divided by 49 equals 1. This is of the form y square divided by a square minus x square divided by b square equals 1. So how does your hyperbola look like? It is along the y-axis. So it looks like this. Where is your foci? This is 0, c and this is 0, minus c. So points எப்படி இருக்கும்? 0, plus or minus c, 0, plus or minus a, plus or minus b, 0. A square equals 16, a equals 4, b square equals 49, b equals 7. C square என்ன? A square plus b square, 16 plus 49, which is 65. So C equals root 65. C கண்டுபிடிச்சாச்சு. So what are my foci? Foci வந்து 0, plus or minus root 65. Vertices 0, plus or minus 4 and the other vertex is plus or minus 7, 0. Eccentricity C divided by A, which is root 65 divided by 4. Length of the lattice rectum is 2b square divided by A, which is 2 times 49 divided by 4, which is 49 by 2. Okay. Question number 7. Vertices at plus or minus 2, 0 and foci at plus or minus 3, 0. So this is plus or minus c, 0. So this should be plus or minus a, 0. A and c should lie on the same axis. They lie on the major axis. So இன்னொரு point என்ன? 0, plus or minus b. So now your a is in the x coordinate. So how does your hyperbola look like? It looks like this, where your point c is over here. So c, 0 and this is a, 0. This is minus a, 0 and minus c, 0. So how does your equation look like? When the hyperbola is along the x-axis, it's x square by a square minus y square by b square equals 1. You're asked to find the equation of the hyperbola. So now your a is 2, your c is 3. What is your b? A square plus b square equals c square. B square is c square minus a square, which is 9 minus 4, 5. This is your b square. So b is root 5. You need not find what b is. So now the equation becomes x square divided by a square and 4 minus y square divided by 5 equals 1. This is the equation. Okay. Question number 8. Vertex at 0, plus or minus 5 and foci at 0, plus or minus 8. இது எப்படி இருக்கு? 0, plus or minus c. So this should be 0, plus or minus a. What is the other point? Plus or minus b, 0, which doesn't concern us here. So இந்த மாதிரி இருந்ததுனா your a is along the y-axis. So this is how your hyperbola looks like. Your point c lies here. So 0, c and this is 0, a. So since the hyperbola lies along the y-axis, equation is y square divided by a square minus x square divided by b square equals 1. Value of a is 5. Value of c is 8. b என்ன தெரியாது. b square equals c square minus a square, which is 64 minus 25, which is 39. So b square is 39. b equals root 39. So how does my equation look like? Y square divided by a square, which is 25, minus x square divided by b square equals 1. Okay. Question number 9. Vertices at 0, plus or minus 3 and foci at 0, plus or minus 5. So again, this is of the form 0, plus or minus c. So this should be 0, plus or minus a. So your a is along the y-axis. So your hyperbola looks like this. So the equation along y-axis is y square by a square minus x square by b square equals 1. A oda value 3, c oda value 5, b enna theriyadu. A square plus b square equals c square. B square equals c square minus a square. C square is 25 minus a square is 9, which is 16 b equals 4. So what does my equation look like? Y square divided by a square, which is 9, minus x square divided by 16 equals 1. Question number 10. Foci at plus or minus 5, 0. This is my foci. Foci is plus or minus 5, 0. Now it is plus or minus c, 0. So c lies on the x-axis. So this is how your hyperbola looks like. The transverse axis is of length 8. Transverse axis na enna? The axis where the hyperbola lies on. So it is the major axis, which is 2a. It is given to be 8. We don't call it the major axis here. Instead, we call it the transverse axis. Okay. So now you know 2a equals 8. So a equals 4. So how does your equation look like when it's along the x-axis? X square by a square minus y square by b square equals 1. So I have x square a. So I have a equals 4. B is unknown. C equals 5. So a square plus b square equals c square. B square is c square, which is 25, minus 16, which is 9. So b equals 3. So what is my equation? X square divided by a square, which is 16, minus y square divided by 9 equals 1. Question number 11. Foci is at 0, plus or minus 13. So foci is at 0, plus or minus 13, which is 0, plus or minus c. So hyperbola it will be along the y-axis. It will look like this. And the conjugate axis is of length 24. Conjugate axis na it is 2b. Transverse axis is always 2a. Conjugate axis is the axis which is perpendicular to the transverse axis. Inge transverse enadhu? It is the axis where the hyperbola lies on. So y-axis is the transverse axis. X-axis is the conjugate axis. So conjugate axis oda length enadhu? It is given to be 24. So your b is 12. What is the equation if the hyperbola is along the y-axis? Y square divided by a square minus x square divided by b square equals 1. So c oda value 13, b oda value 12. What is your a? Any guesses? 5. But we will try to solve it. A square plus b square equals c square. So I have a square equals c square minus b square. C square enna? 13 square minus 12 square, which is 13 minus 12 into 13 plus 12. A square minus b square formula. So I have 1 times 25. A equals 5. So you have to know 5, 12 and 13 are Pythagorean triplet. Okay. Now your equation is y square divided by a square, which is 25, minus x square divided by b square, which is 144 equals 1. So this is the equation. Okay. Question number 12. Foci is at plus or minus 3 root 5, 0. And the lattice rectum is of length 8. Lattice rectum na enna? 2b square divided by a is 8 nu kuduthirukku. So first focus plus or minus c, 0. So your hyperbola is along the x-axis, x coordinate la irukku. So your equation looks like x square divided by a square minus y square divided by b square equals 1. So now you need to find the values. You have c equals 3 root 5. You have 2b square divided by a equals 8. So idhilendhu b square enadhu? B square is 8a divided by 2, which is 4a. Okay. You also know the relation between a, b and c. A square plus b square equals c square. A square plus b square equals, what is my c square? It is 3 root 5 the whole square. What is 3 root 5 the whole square? 3 3s are 9. Root 5 into root 5 is 5. 9 5s are 45. So I have a square plus b square equals 45. B square is 45 minus a square. Okay. So now I have b square on my left hand side. I can equate my RHS. So I have 45 minus a square equals 4a. Bringing everything to my right hand side, I have a square plus 4a minus 45 equals 0. 5 9s are 45. 45 can be split as 9 and 5 with a minus sign for 5. Okay. So a square plus 9a minus 5a minus 45 equals 0. A வெளியில எடுத்தா a plus 9, I'm left with a minus 5. So it is a minus 5, a plus 9 equals 0. So a oda value, it is either 5 or minus 9. Neglecting the negative value because the distance cannot be negative, my a value is 5. So a square and 25. So what does my equation become? Sorry, a square kandupidichachu. Now what is my b square? B square is 45 minus a square, which is 45 minus 25, which is 20. So my equation now becomes x square divided by 25 minus y square divided by 20 equals 1. Okay.